Welcome back to London and the GG.Bet Ice Challenge. We're here on day 2. We've got our upper bracket game to start things off. Our 2 victors, one maybe unexpected, no offense. Heroic obviously took down Na'Vi yesterday. Quite an upset to start off the morning. And then North, who came off the back of a poor minor, I have to say. I'll be honest with you guys. I think you guys admit to that too. And obviously took down AVANGAR to make sure that they secured their position in this. But we didn't see a lot of feist yesterday. We've got an octagon here. I expected some trash talking, some over the top. Today, you guys might change that. Obviously, you used to play with them. You kind of replaced him. I'll start with you. I mean, you guys had a, first off, great day yesterday, but what do you expect today playing against your old team?
Well, first off, I'm going to say that North had the easier way with AVANGAR, and it's no longer easy, of course. But yeah, yesterday we upset Na'Vi. We were really confident today, and I think it's going to be a great match.
And what do you, I mean, obviously, he says the easy way against AVANGAR, but they've been playing pretty well. The CIS regions look pretty good. Do you think they'll be an easier opponent?
No, I think it's going to be a brawl, definitely.
That's it? Just a brawl? I expected you to just say he's easy. You replaced him, like you took his spot on the team.
I mean, I see these guys, they've been boot camping all day long, and this is early, right? We know the rhythm, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, this is pretty polite so far, Mertz, I think. I mean, you did spend a lot of time in the North organization. Do you think that's obviously Cadian leading now, not MSL, a little bit different from the time that you were there, but you obviously know these guys pretty well. Do you think that that's going to help you and Heroic going into this?
I don't know. A lot of things have changed in North since I was in the team. So I wouldn't say I have that much insight anymore, but it's, yeah, I don't know. I hope that the game will be a little bit more feisty than it was in those comments.
Yeah, that was not that great. I'm not that impressed, I have to say.
I mean, I'm a polite guy. I'm just going to show the things on the server, right?
All right, well, so in the server, hopefully we get some more into it. Obviously, today, the winner of this game goes straight through to the finals tomorrow. AVANGAR will play Na'Vi to play the loser of this game. So it's not like either of you are out at this point in time. So I can see why maybe you're being a little bit polite, but obviously head-to-head on the op battle, I'm kind of looking forward to it. We've got 2 guys behind me that are going to be looking forward to it as well. Hints on the veto, have you guys already done it?
Yeah, we have done it, but I didn't do the veto. Did you?
Yeah, we play Mirage first, then Nuke, and then Train.
Ooh, those are some op-centric maps. Train will be feisty. That'll be the first time we've seen it all tournaments. What about Cadian in game leading? Do you think you can get under his skin?
Sorry?
Can you get under Cadian's skin?
I think that's a Cillian's job, actually.
Is it literally a Cillian's job? The little tomato over there, he's got to speak up a bit.
They have some history with a minor qualifier that didn't go so well for Cadian, so I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, all right. What about you? You guys going to try and wreck a Cillian and get under his skin early on?
Yeah, I think we met Heroic in Pro League a couple months ago, and we're just going to do the same we did back then.
All right, well, that's exciting. With that, I think we're pretty much ready to get into it. It's going to be Stunna stepping in for me beside the lovely Henry G. They'll walk you through the veto again, and both maps. Good luck, boys. I'll say shake hands, but do whatever you want. We'll see you in the game.
Yes, Mr. Greer, good fist bump. You like a good little bit of trash talk early in the morning.
Would you call that trash talk?
Nah, there was more lopsided, more one-sided. I mean, there was an attempt.
We saw an attempt.
Yeah.
That's what I appreciate. We kind of tried to build up the whole idea. We've got an octagon here. Want to see a bit of excitement. This is like the old days. You're in front of each other. I think once they get going in a couple of rounds, get a bit heated, I think we'll see some players standing up. I think the likes of Freiburg, I think Cadian,
yes.
They're no slouches in that department. They know they can get inside their opponent's heads. You've probably been there before, the Cloud9 boys. Do you ever use any psychological warfare in that sense?
Yeah, actually, there were a couple tricks up the sleeve there. And of course, we had some veterans on the squad, like Jordan, who's been playing since he was, I think, fresh out of the womb. So
yeah,
like,
exactly.
He pretty much knows all the tricks. But definitely an interesting bout in front of us. One with a lot of, dare I say, clout.
I think out of all the matchups we could have possibly had in terms of the results yesterday, sure, it's disappointing to see Na'Vi not show up in full force. But the fact you get this Scandinavian battle now, I feel like this is going to be the most exciting prospect. We're going to see some hard-hitting Counter-Strike. We're going to see some mind games going on. We want to see some of the young guns perform here, and especially the new member of Heroic as well, BlameF. I think the man's a tank himself, but we'll need to see him step up on the server. That's what we want.
Let's talk about that by itself, because yes, we have an octagon, and yes, it has that premise of, hey, there will be a big fight in here. That's a man I don't want to fight.
I think, yeah, if you had to square them off, you'd have your best fighters. You've got BlameF there. He would definitely be your #1 nomination. Then maybe like Freiburg in the corner basically as a sub, and then you've got Mertz on the other side. I think that'd be a pretty good battle, actually.
Yeah, I think toe-to-toe and weight for weight. Like it's pretty decided almost.
Sure.
But BlameF, absolute unit, and probably, definitely, I guess today, expected to show up in the server in a big way. Team already looking fresh. Of course, they've got a whole new look to them as well, so that definitely helps. Probably raises a little bit of the spirits over there on the heroic side.
Sure. Well, you have to remember as well, North have definitely been together a lot longer. This is the first event for Heroic with this lineup, this new look, the new jerseys, everything really, and it's playing as first big event. Like, it's not a massive main stage event, but it's against top tier opposition.
Right.
They managed to beat Na'Vi yesterday. That's no easy task, let me tell you. That's very difficult indeed. But the mind games begin now, and I love the fact they're so close together. They understand each other. They can speak the same language. Hopefully, we're going to see a bit of that banter come through. I want to see some huge clutches, especially from the man Freiberg. When he wins a clutch, he likes to stand up and let the boys know. So hopefully, we're going to see a bit of that action here. And we are kicking things off on Mirage, a map everyone knows how to play. We can't really talk too much about anti-strats and that sort of thing. I think it's quite vanilla how the map's played at this point.
Yeah.
I just want to see players not really holding back in terms of the aggression. I don't want to see them playing just to kind of play safe. I want to see them get inside, throw a spanner in the works, and try and make some crazy plays happen. That's what I'm looking for here today, and hopefully the in-game leaders can step up as well. One thing I really respected from Heroic yesterday was the CT setups, the calls that Asilian was making. It seemed to be almost spot on. Nice calculated aggression, good change of pace, and he really was taking the game to Na'Vi, which they couldn't handle.
Well, if you want to look at the GG.Bet odds, they are right there on your screen in front of you, and you can see that North is the favorite going into this one, but not by a huge margin. I mean, of course, we did listen to the coach, Mither, a new addition to this team, and what he had to say, he did talk about uprooting the system here for what it's worth.
I think they have to at this point,
you
don't
have
they?
to, absolutely.
So many things have gone wrong. There doesn't seem to be anything really positive apart from the skill you have in this roster. I think they've got a problem of they're halfway between the old system, trying to implement a new one with Cadian as well. I feel like he's absolutely right. They're not attending the major now. This is time to work on their new formation and work out how they're going to approach the new year. Heroic on the other side, they actually are in a similar position. They're not exactly a top-tier team, but they've got great firepower in there. They're still building up for the year as well. So it'll be a good test to see who can start gunning up the ranks to get up towards the number 2 spot in Denmark and see who is going to be a brightful prospect for the future. I feel like in terms of this matchup, I'm not sure which way is going to go. I love what Heroic did yesterday, but I don't think they're going to be as consistent. I feel like that's obviously a bit of a flash in the pan. They need everyone to show up. They want a lot of 1v1s. We saw the likes of Asilian actually playing massively, and whether that's going to be reliable, I'm not so sure. I'm a big fan of Mertz and what he brings to the table as well. Yes. I love the fact he's playing against his old organization, and that's a big talking point as well. The fact Cadian up against Mertz. Cadian is now the sniper of North. That used to be Mertz's role, and I feel like Mertz is a much more aggressive and flashy player. But Cadian's got more experience, right? He'll know how to maybe get under the skin of Mertz a little bit more.
Yeah, and you've got to think about the mind games that will come into this matchup by itself. But I think for what it's worth, those mind games also have to carry over to the whole storyline that we're kind of skipping over here, is that both these teams are striving for an identity.
Yeah.
Both of these teams are looking to get their foothold within the community again and kind of reassert themselves as a dominant force within the server and I guess around the international scene. Because for what it's worth, I mean, both teams haven't necessarily shown extreme promise that you would expect.
Well, the thing is, with the whole North organization, it puts all the pressure on them as players, I think, having such a massive backing, the resources and the organization, the prestige that comes at SC Copenhagen as well. You would expect these boys to be delivering now at this point. They've had maybe, 2 trophies since the project started. One notable one in the DreamHack Masters. I think that was the last big event they won under MSL. And after that, that's when Cadian came in to replace him with the AWP. And kind of strange times there, because that was when MSL was the AWPer for North. And it felt like a perfect fit. I'll go bring Cadian in. A fresh mind to bring to the table who could slot into that AWP role as well, but he doesn't seem to be taking to it. I'm not sure he can potentially handle the responsibility of being both the in-game leader and the main star AWPer as well. There's only a few players that can do that responsibility. It's a very difficult role to handle.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen IGLs try to do it in the past. You want to talk about the old days. I mean, Sean was doing it there for a little while. He had the AWP in his hands, trying to steer the ship and get the AWPing done. It is definitely a tall order and a tall ask. And I guess for such an impact weapon in the game, you definitely need to have a very, very hands-on approach with it. You can't just sit back and sort of be passive with it. You have to get out there and take the fight to the enemy.
Let's focus on, you brought up Sean, right? One classic example of that would be Skadoodle. One of the biggest criticisms you could give throughout his career. He didn't seem like it was his decisions. He didn't want to make assertive plays. He was obviously being told what to do. And most AWPers, famously the best ones, will tell their in-game leader where they can find picks, where they want to find the blood, and how they can move around. And that's really what you want. You want to have that killer instinct as someone who's got almost arrogance. They want to be telling their team where they're going to be finding these kills. And when they get them, everyone gets hyped up and they start building off that energy and they can move around the map every single time. If you're kind of cagey and you're not feeling it and you're kind of inside yourself playing very passively, that's that's when your in-game leader knows he needs to step up and take charge. But we'll see if that happens today, because we do have two great in-game leaders, two big names there, Asilian and Cadian. No strangers to each other, and that's the matchup I really want to see. Like they said, those are the in-game leaders, and hopefully they can maybe get under each other's skin with some anti-stratting and stuff like that. But the thing is, there's not that much information on Heroic with this first event for this new lineup. And it's really the same story for North as well. A new coach coming in, you don't want to focus on the anti-strats at this point.
Well, the one thing that I guess we haven't actually noted was, from that interview, Matt called him the tomato.
Sure.
So what,
okay.
What does that mean on the other side, Who really knows?
I'm not really sure at all. But either way, this is hopefully going to be an exciting matchup. Do you think we'll see all three maps? Who have you got as your favorite right now?
I'm going to have to think that Heroic went back home yesterday and didn't just rest their head and say, oh, look, it was easy. We got it over with and got it done with. Na'Vi, obviously, we're the upper dog there. But for what it's worth, Heroic definitely had some show and some poise there. So perhaps they can continue that on in today. But hell, who knows? This is Counter-Strike, and of course, with the mind games at hand, we don't know.
No one ever knows. That's the problem. We can only really speculate. I know Peacemaker does some hard work on the survey, likes to watch your position, but sometimes, like I said, focusing on that too much could be a massive issue. I feel like in terms of, let's just talk about raw firepower for a second. I would say on paper, North have got the edge in that respect. They should be, in terms of 1v1 duels, you'd have them to win. But I love the synergy, and I love the CT adaptions of Heroic as well. I feel like the fact that they can move around the map, and they know how they can change the pace of the game and go from very defensive to very aggressive. And they take
the adaptations. Oh, yeah.
And they take gamble stacks as well. Like when they have a disadvantage, they lose a pick, they're happy to send 4 players to one bomb site, which normally seems to be working out for them. So we'll see whether that comes in. It looks like we're getting into the map momentarily. Have you had the knife round yet? Have you spotted that?
I don't
think
got
severe
we
technical issues.
Have, but
is everyone there?
I don't know. It does look like we have 10 players in the server, or perhaps 9.
Just hanging out.
And then there's just one over there trying to get his whole life together, which is how this goes normally. Wouldn't be Counter-Strike without a little bit of slowdown. Mr. Freiberg there, a player obviously hailing from the very, very, very storyline Ninjas of Pajamas back in the day, now finding himself as the veteran on this squad. Definitely a talking point in its own.
Yeah, it's interesting how his career, he's still on his feet, though. It's still a decent team. I don't think we'll ever see him cracking the top 5 again, potentially. It seems like he's just he's a perfect member for a team like this who can show some of the younger players and newer guys how to operate as a functional unit and how to show his experience and be calm. He's always good for a couple of frags. And interesting enough, maps like Inferno we saw yesterday, he is happy to change his role, famously playing the B bomb site for most of his career, now changing it towards A just for the fact that he needs his teammates to shine, and that's what he wants from them. So we'll see whether that comes through. Blame F yesterday, a lot of hype surrounding him in terms of individual skill, and we didn't quite see everything from him. Definitely saw some flashes of it, a couple of clutches and pistol rounds, for example, but he's been heralded as this new star fragger, and that's what we want to see today, whether he can step up against this sort of matchup here. It's going to be a difficult environment. The fact they're so close to each other, there'll be a lot of pressure there in the octagon, and hopefully we'll see some sparks fly, because I want to see the clutches, I want to see the upsets, the blunders, as you would say, Trace.
I mean, yeah, I guess I would say that.
Yeah.
I want to see, the in-your-face mentality, the kicking the tires, lighting the fires, table flipping. And if there's a guy in that octagon right now that can flip the tables, blame F. Guaranteed.
Yeah, sure.
No question about it.
That's going to be exciting. And do you know what the second map was? I didn't quite catch that. Did you get it? No,
I didn't actually.
Cool. We'll just freestyle it. We'll see what happens.
That's basically what's going on up here. Welcome, obviously, if you're just joining us. This is GG.Bet Ice Challenge live from London. And my name is Trey Saranthus. We do have Henry Greer here. I'm actually going to enunciate your name for the first time in the past year.
Oh, fist bumps. We might be good to go. Or they're just flexing it now.
I think that guy's just flexing.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, indeed. This is a tournament with just 4 teams, but 4 quite exciting teams. They've got a lot of storylines around them.
So perhaps the implications of this matchup need to be kind of visited as we get into this pistol round or this knife round. We start to talk about this next team that wins this matchup does, in fact, go on into the finals.
That's a very good point. This is our upper bracket final. So whoever wins this is guaranteed second place, essentially. That's a whole lot of change guaranteed in your back pocket here. Mirage, not a huge implication on the knife round, to be honest. It's nice to win it. Some teams prefer to start CT, but let's be honest, it doesn't have a huge factor. Oh, but maybe it does.
Yes. And that is what I want to hear. I want to hear a vocal game from both sides of these teams.
Well, there you go. It's going to be looking like the North will start on the T side, and we can see on their screens right now. There's AZ. So many storylines in this server in terms of individuals trying to prove themselves and trying to have a promising start for 2019. I can't really point out a player that's really in a happy place in their career right now. It seems like everyone's kind of rebuilding. A lot of storied players, a lot of talent on the server right now, but definitely a difficult time for almost everyone here as they try and work out how they're going to get themselves into relevancy after this major cycle, for example.
Definitely a little bit of stumbling and tripping going on around here. Obviously, you know, for the major cycle, and well, it's not the easiest of stories for these guys in talking about that, but it's definitely something that you kind of have to say, okay, that's ground zero.
Yeah.
You don't make it to the major, you need to reboot your systems, and you need to maybe put in the eye drops and restart the whole system.
Yeah, that's what you have to do, and hopefully that's what they can do at this point. Like we said, great resources on both organizations. A full rebrand from Heroic shows they're dedicated to this this team, the organization. They're definitely investing and making sure they've got everything they need. They brought in a storied coach as well, Peacemaker, as I mentioned, hard worker. He definitely wants to prove himself, not only in the team. He wants to show he can stay within a roster and make them climb the ladder. They've got a lot of climbing to do, but it's the exact same story for North. Just replaced their coach as well. We don't even know much about this dude. Met him yesterday. Lovely guy. But
seemed like a cool guy to me.
Yeah, lovely guy. But he said to me, it's his first day on the job yesterday. All he can really bring to the table is looking at the opponent and making sure his team stay calm. He can't really change the whole system overnight, right? But I guess baptism by fire is the best way to do it. Throw him in the deep end and see what happens.
Yeah, let's see if you either sink or swim. I think that is the story to be told there. But, you know, the one thing with Peacemaker is he has received a lot of criticism. And, you know, it has been a long, long road for him. So, of course, that road to proving himself here, you know, I don't know how many more chances it is.
Well, they did beat Na'Vi yesterday, and I'm trying to work out, are we impressed with Heroic? I think the answer to that obviously is yes. But was that a Na'Vi we're used to seeing? That's a Na'Vi that I've never... Well, I haven't seen that sort of low before. It seemed like the maps were so baffling. The way
they were asleep.
They just weren't awake. The tactics weren't really there. The fragging was weak across the board. Simple was playing out of his mind. That was great. Electronic, though, very quiet. Flamey had some moments. And great result for Heroic. Hopefully builds their confidence, and we'll see whether they can deliver on that level today. I hope it just wasn't one of those games where they just capitalize upon their opponent's mistakes, which plenty were made. But North, certainly not a perfect team either. Like I said, I expect North with more firepower, maybe to have the edge, but it's so difficult to predict in these sort of quote-unquote derby games. Obviously, you've got a couple of players there, not from Denmark, but the majority are, and we'll see who comes out on top. And I guess Mirage, I'm gonna give it to Heroic. You know what, the CT side start, we'll go on a map-by-map basis. I'll start with Heroic. I feel like their CT side is where they're starting. That's where they do most of their damage. And they did a great job. Remember against Na'Vi yesterday, they went 4-1 in pistol rounds. So that's where they have a great advantage as well. They seem to be fantastic in those, only giving one away yesterday, I think it was. So we'll see what happens.
So, you know, the expectations are high within these two teams. Obviously, both these teams want to find that success here and maybe, you know, absolutely find their way on into the grand final. And I guess my expectations was to see more activations from you all there on the Twitter lands. That's right. Go ahead and get your tweets in. You probably see them on screen. You never know. That is unless you tweet something outrageous. But then again, wouldn't be too shocking. Of course, you need to go ahead and tag at GG.Bet official for the Ice Challenge here. And that is the way to get the attention of the Twitter gods that handle all of that goodness.
I've got a question for you.
Let's think about this before you ask it.
No, it's a nice one.
Okay.
Do you still think Na'Vi are going to be the champions of this tournament, considering what you saw yesterday?
Well, I think for some reason Na'Vi likes to start slow. It's just this weird mentality.
We said that yesterday as well. We said that they always have slow starts in these tournaments, but the thing is, this is a brutal format now. One loss will remove them from it. But I guess against AVANGAR, you've got to give them the upper hand there. Surely they're not going to be dropping that game.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to think of yourself as the bigger brother in that equation, right?
Yes,
if you're Natus Vincere, you need to think that, like, hey, we're the older upperclassmen here, and this should be absolutely no problem to kind of put these guys away. But on the other side, let's go ahead and just speculate that, yes, we're on the eve of the major.
Indeed, a lot of pressure mounting at this point. It's do or die time, I think, for some players in that organization. They feel like this is the chance now to prove their worth still. Are they still valid players in the squad? It seems like such an up and down roller coaster within it. I do want them to perform here. I want them to be ready for the major. I want them to look good because I am a fan of the squad. When it's looking good, it's a great machine. But when it looks bad, it just looks like it doesn't start whatsoever. And it can be very difficult and frustrating to even commentate it sometimes. We want to see those guys perform. They're a legendary team. They're #2 in the world right now. And it looks like, Trace, do we have a little update? I can see you kind of gathering information.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to put it all together, trying to make 1 and 1 equal 3, but ultimately it only makes 2. And in this equation, we don't have 2 teams that are ready to play, Henry. That seems to be the update that was pending, and now we're just waiting to see what it is that is going on. I can't imagine us being too far away. It does look like some sort of a audio issue.
I guess we need to go into a podcast momentarily because.
Let's do it. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'll do the old classic. We'll bring up the old Reddits.
I like that.
We'll go from there. You're going to have to fill for a few seconds while I get that up.
Okay.
And we'll start the podcast and we'll continue on.
Yeah, things that we're not going to talk about. State of the Union address. What do you got, Henry?
First of all, congratulations to Anders on the birth of his daughter.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations.
I'm sure you're
Mr.
not
Wood.
watching this, but in spirit, I'm sending you my love and well wishes to you and your family.
Yeah, but
amazing work.
Danish Counter-Strike. It's a hell of a drug, right? So
I
perhaps
guess
he is
so.
watching.
Yeah, maybe this is important.
Maybe he needs to watch
You got to
this.
make sure your kids know this is the most important thing going on right now. Danish Counter-Strike is there. Let's keep going. There's a few ones that don't really want to touch on and don't really feel like they should be mentioned on the broadcast
Yeah, that's
right
definitely not the one that I think we need to talk about.
I'm just trying to keep it to some interesting stuff, maybe some teams and roster changes, some speculation. We'll see what's going on. It's all pretty boring today.
Yeah, God, you guys need to get some good posts up there. Maybe something to do with GG.Bet Ice Challenge.
Go on, give us some shout-outs. Who's sponsoring this tournament? How can we get involved?
You can get involved all over social media. You guys all know that, but make sure you do tag at GG.Bet Official because that's probably the only way anyone's ever going to see it. That is the way that works. Maybe you go to our all and we get in the big picture here, the whole wide world.
Send in your questions at this point. If you have a question, we will answer them live on air. I'm not sure.
Actually, here's Henry's telephone number. If you want to go ahead and call, we'll go ahead and get you live on air right now. And it does look like fist bumps are exchanged and then probably on the eve of pistol round, Henry.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first game of the day, best of 3, a Scandinavian battle here in the Octagon. We have Heroic versus North. It's going to go right down to the wire. This is our upper bracket final. I think we'll see all 3 maps in. Hopefully some electricity in there as well. We want to see passion and emotion. As we get into it, Tracy will be Heroic on the CT side. Remember, they've been excellent pistols so far. Can they continue that form? We will find out.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to start off strong here if you're on this this north side. Definitely want to go ahead and set and sort of dictate the pace at which you guys are going to play this first half, and potentially the entire map of Mirage. Of course, North over here on that T side, having to go underneath this underpass. This bomb's going to be sitting there towards A ramp, but they're going to be walking into a bad setup right there. 3-4 frags coming out on the side of Heroic. And that pistol round is as good as done unless Cadian can do something strange for a little piece of change here.
Pretty wild stuff there from Heroic, and I speculated the question, are they going to bring that form in the pistol? They certainly are. Looks like a clean sweep coming in. Cadian will deny that at least. As they try and close things out. You can see the odds there at the bottom from GG.Bet. North are the favorites right now, but Heroic with a really, really clean round there. Challenging towards middle. Nice flashbang over, focusing for connector, window, and short, just finding absolutely everyone. That's what we need, Freiburg. Bring me that passion. Let's do it every single time. Yes. You can hear him screaming. We've got a nice view trace here. For once, we can see exactly what's going on. We can actually fire them up a little bit as well.
I think what needs to be told is the fact that after that round went down the way it did, Freiburg looked over at us with this sort of what you would say a cheeky smile.
I'd say a maniacal grin.
Yeah,
he looked like he was ready, man. He's going to be showing us what he's going to deliver. At this point, just to know, we have got a full eco from North, so they're bringing out the AKs in the 3rd round, which is very common these days if you don't get the bomb planted. I can see a little bit of a shuffle towards B. I think they're trying to suggest they're going to hit the B bomb, so you can see the bomb actually heading in towards Palace, though. So that's going to be on the back of AZ, and I assume his teammates will just try and fake in towards B, try and show as much as they can, hopefully get a trade. All they need is a single kill, and that might be enough to allow AZ to run into that bomb site and plant. It probably won't happen, I'm going to be honest with you, but it's an idea. And at this point, they just slow it right down because they're trying to just bleed out the grenades. Every smoke thrown, $300. Every flashbang, $200. If you get an incendiary out of them, that's $600 removed. So you know you're going to be getting out AKs next round. You want to have maximum reset potential. This might be quite dull to watch, but they know if they can bait out some of that utility, it's going to help them out going forward.
Yeah, and in this situation, that bomb being postured over there towards those A halls or palaces, you might call it, definitely going to be an A sort of push here, but again, is a tall tasking considering all the weaponry they're up against. And they're going to find one frag there on KRB, taking down Mertz with a Glock, so not all is lost except for the round itself. Heroic put a second on the board, and that's just the way it all fell apart, Henry.
Well, there it is. They get one kill. AZ run out of the palace. That wasn't really a fake in the end. They just tried to do an A split. Might have had a bit more success if they showed 4 players at the B side. Then he could have potentially got the bomb down, but like I said, very unlikely. And here we go then. The AKs will be brought out. This is the moment now. Will Heroic be able to win this quote-unquote bonus round at this stage? This is when you have residual SMGs, and you might have a FAMAS or 2. You can see there it is. MP5, UMP, and all comes out for S-Tag, but it's in terms of firepower, North have the advantage. That's why we might see a bit of aggression here. Mertz about his AWP just yet, and you can see they've got A bit of map control as well. S-Tag, he's
look
not
at
wasting
this.
any time. He's trying to make a play here. Just get that 1 kill and fall back, but they're going to keep pushing by the looks of things.
Yeah, and you can see AZ just postured there, set up in the halls, trying to wait out something. Maybe get a repeat there, and he could shoot someone in the back as they rotate. But odds are that this push is giving away a ton of intel as it stands. Right now, we have 2 people from Heroic already over there into T-spawn.
The bomb's down top of middle. They're going to find a bomb before they find a player. AZ is still in the palace, so he has told his teammates they're absolutely fine. Once they spot this bomb, which is in a few seconds, they won't. It's actually on the ledge. That's pretty smart. So they don't spot the bomb. They don't know how significant that push was, but they are finding all the kills. Perfectly done there from Heroic. So sure, they don't get that valuable bit of information, and Mertz maybe overcommits to that. You've got a 5-on-3. Don't have to challenge towards a choke point. Your teammates were safely out of the equation as well. I feel like that's a bit of a misplay, but still have the advantage, and time ticking away at this point, 45 seconds, and nothing available apart from AZ and CT spawn. I take it back. Maybe he has got a chance here, but Asilian seems to have his number. Surely gets the kill as well, but no. AZ brings it back to a 3-on-3.
Yes, and the comm is there now. AZ having taken down Asilian definitely highlights the fact that there's a guy in the back lines here. S-Tag with this little bit of range. He's going to find that frag on the gate with a little under 30 seconds left in the clock. Finds a second one there onto KRB. So now with AZ the lone wolf, or lion I should say, he will fall, and that round will go in the way of Heroic. And you can hear him getting loud. I hope you can hear that at home, because I'm hoping they just get louder if you can.
They're going to, as the game progresses, like it's the first map of the day.
Crescendo.
Yeah, everyone's a little bit like kind of tired, warming up into it. We saw the pre-game interview, a little bit flat. I feel like we should kind of speak to them maybe after the first map when we have some clutches and some blunders come through and some 1v3s and stuff like that. But it is going to be Heroic winning that massive round there. That is huge. A great push as well. You want to see those sort of pushes when you're lacking firepower, because you want to try and get the first pick and shut down their default. Anything they had in mind, any execution they're leading towards, if you get an opening pick like that and a huge backstab, it completely destroys anything they had in mind. Speaking of which, S-Tag takes Gade out of the equation. A lovely shot of the AK. They're playing passively now. They know they're up against pistols, and it looks like a very simple procedure at this point.
Yeah, Heroic not wanting to rush into anything here and really get caught off guard. They don't want to lose any of this weaponry or utility they've already kind of mounted up. It really would defeat the purpose in building up their economy. Of course, Valde, KRB, and Cadian with the hopes and dreams, but likely to become memes, because all they have now is on the boat. KRB's not going to go down without a fight. He does find a frag on the Mertz, so for what it's worth, a little bit of damage done in this round. It shouldn't amount to too much. KRB trying to work his way up the catwalk, and he's not going to find very much success in doing it. So Cadian with the bomb all on his lonesome and a deagle in hand, 1 versus 4. He's got that bomb again in the palace, so he's just kind of hanging out, and he's going to be put out.
I have been a big fan of S-Tag's kind of resurgence almost. He was coined as a really big young talent, and then when he actually first joined the Heroic roster, he started to drop off quite significantly. When he started getting a bit of a spotlight on him, it seemed like his form really stepped down, and he actually was benched off this lineup for a while. He came back to replace, I think it was, it might have been, it was the Orpo at the time. I think it was when Yugi moved over to Optic. He was brought back in to replace the All-Pro. He actually did a great job, and ever since then, he seems like he's found his form once again. It's great to see him performing even with the rifle at this stage. But this is the first real gun round here. You can see the Orps are out. The battle we wanted to see, Mertz versus Cadian. Mertz will fire off first, but actually missed the shot. You don't see him do that too often. But he did get a bit of intel. They are on default. He spotted 1 player towards the palace as North just go through the motions here.
And now on the other side of that, the intel he did get, he does kind of trade that same information. Now they know that AWP is over there towards that A side. We're going to have to see a little bit of a displace coming out from the side of Mertz. And for what it's worth, it's going to be Blame F trying to get the fight going there in middle. And yes, a very good nade on to KRB there, finding a significant amount of damage. And right now, it does look like North is just trying to figure out what the hell to do.
They look a little bit slow, don't they? This has been the problem with North. My main criticism of this entire squad is their end game procedures. Their mid-rounds, they don't really seem to be that objective-based, and they have to execute in a kind of sloppy manner with like 15 seconds remaining usually. They have plenty of time right now, and I'm sure they've been working on that as they get towards a connector. But what is the next move here? They have a bit of connector control heading towards shore, but certainly aware Heroic are going to have 2 players on the B-bomb side right now, and Mertz actually in the towards B as well with the AWP. That might push them all the way towards that A side. KRB jumps off from shore, gets in the window, and indeed, they will fall back away from the orb.
Yes, that's right. Now that they do have this window control, Blame should be finding the frag, and he does just that. KRB falls, but it's only 3 members of North left. Make that 2. It's me, Valde, and Gay. They're going to have to try to get this bomb planted. Under 20 seconds, and S-Tag is going to keep putting them on the board. 2 kills for him on the round. And Blame is just going to close him out right there.
Yes.
You hear him getting loud. You hear him
challenge.
proud in that, and that's nice. That's 11-0 S-Tag right now.
He is doing a great job. Everyone's fragging. I asked a question at the beginning of this game. Was it a flash in the pan yesterday for Heroic? Will they be able to perform on that level again? S-Tag 11-0. Blame F 9-0. These boys haven't died yet, Trace. This is unprecedented. We're getting to round 6, and North are looking a little bit rattled. As you can see, Gade 0-5, Cadian 1-5, Valda surprising 1-5 for him as well. As we get into it again, there'll be a smoke towards middle, but that doesn't stop Mertz. He takes down Kiabi, gets a second as well. That's his job done. Doesn't need to overcommit to this as the frags are coming in thick and fast. This was a force buy from North, as we'll see Gade and Cadian holding up towards the CT spawn area now, trying to bust their way through, as we'll now have Blame F holding patiently. The round is already won. They just want to keep it as cost-effective as possible.
Yeah, and the real story to be told right here is, yes, Gade might find a kill here, and he does. He does find one onto Blame before he's taken down. But this freedom of movement that they're getting all over the map, Heroic is able to just push here, push there, and then when they're not doing that, it seems like, hey, you know what? We're not there, but you don't know that, so.
Well, a little bit of luck there at the start. Mertz obviously getting the kill through the smoke. That always helps things out. I use the word luck loosely. Obviously, it's about timing and awareness and knowing where to pre-aim, but it certainly helps when you get one of those to kick things off, able to re-peek there and all the chaos. And once again, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Heroic are really difficult to predict right now. They've got Mertz in the palace, then he's back towards B, then he's facing towards middle, then they've got aggression from connector short as well. Then they play very passively, and you're wasting all your utility because you're not sure what they're going to be presenting, and that's why North need this tactical timeout right now, because they're being outplayed. They are not sure how to contain the Heroic side. They're losing every facet of the map.
Yeah, I mean, I say the word posturing, and when I mean that is now North need to figure out exactly where to go with this. I mean, we talk about them using utility, how they want to push and be aggressive, or how they can even combat the aggressiveness of Heroic. In this instance, they don't really even know where to put their foot down to sort of stop that aggression that's coming out so prominently here from players like S-Tag, who are being absolutely detrimental to the cause of North.
Like I said coming into this, I believe pound for pound, North actually have more firepower. I just believe it's their approach. They're too slow, they're too kind of apprehensive at times to actually make their way in towards bomb sites. I want to see them sticking together as 5-man units. These are the sort of rounds that usually work out for them when they stick together and actually use their brutal aim to bust in towards bomb sites. We'll see if they find any success here.
Yep, might not work here, but it might just do that. Valdi finds one on the Freiburg, so that little glimmer of hope does stay alive, and AZ is the only shining little star himself, in this sky at least. And, well, 4 HP. He does have an AK, and this would be a miracle, I think they call it.
I think that might be accurate at this point. AZ doesn't really have much chance at all. And in terms of financial damage, the money's just rolling out of control. You can see a very poised Freiburg there, but he's making sure he knows he's doing a great job, which he is, as they continue their perfect run. I'm not sure if we've even killed a couple of the players on the Heroic side yet. We'll have a look at the scoreboard momentarily. We'll also look at the odds and see how they've been swayed as the game continues. A little AK on the floor there, as, like I said, the money out of control right now for Heroic. So much cash available to them. They might be absolutely fine for the rest of the half. They won't even have to take an eco here. We'll see as we get into it. Cadian back on the AWP, and Mertz as well, as he makes his way towards connector. Like I said, unpredictable. Wants to be changing his position up almost every round.
Now, you know, I'm just going to say this.
Go on.
This is North's map pick.
Sure.
Now, on their T side, you would expect them to have a little bit more to show right out the gate. But for what it's worth, what they're going to show is their ability to catch these grenades over here in the B hall. Right now, they are set up to take this B site, but they're going to have to get through Freiburg first. The anchor, he's known to hold Banana, but can he hold this B site on Mirage? That will be the question. AZ already out there towards the van, and they have kind of pushed Freiburg back enough so the gate can get the shot off. Now Mertz is set up with AWP. They've got 4 members over there, and then, of course, you do have K or B kind of hanging around that mid area, trying to catch a rotation, and this could very well be the first round on the board for North.
Yeah, I think this is just a save already. Yes, Heroic have a load of money, but there's no point throwing it away, and that's exactly the point I was making before. If North just have a game plan at the start of the round, I think they actually operate a lot better. You see what I mean? They just choose. We're going to go lifestyle B contact play. We'll focus on this one player, and we'll bust in together and make sure we use our aim. They did that. They had an objective. It works out for them. As soon as they go into slow defaults, that's when they just look so weak. They can't handle any sort of aggression. I think they're more, at this stage in the team's formation, at this tournament, they need to be focusing on the set pieces. Sure, do a default to start a hold of the aggression, but let's just focus on 5-man attacks on towards bomb sites with very simple plays.
Yeah, once they find themselves sort of lingering there, where they start getting picked apart and really just get chewed a piece, you know?
Well, that's a problem for Freiburg. That's what happened to him towards that B bomb site. You could see nice little set piece there. Nothing too complicated. Baited out the grenade to the start. Good smoke to take vision away. bottled it down with flashbangs and then a couple of Molotovs towards the bench as well. Made him uncomfortable. That's the main objective of the T side. Make the defense uncomfortable, go for your duel, and then hopefully win it. 1 kill required, and they win the round. Let's see more of that, please. Let's see whether the set pieces can continue as we get into round number 9. Plenty of money available still for Heroic, and we'll see if they can reset North potentially.
And maybe, just maybe, S-Tac can, lose it all this round. Who knows? He's sitting on top of the mountain right now, and he's only halfway up, Henry. Gade finding a way up there and pioneering on a catwalk. They're doing it with a quickness. Freiburg, though, not going to let him get away with it this time. He does put down the spray. He does inflict quite a bit of pain. And now North are definitely in an awkward position. They've got 2 players over here towards these B halls, and Caribbean finding himself in this mid area again. That's
just pretty poor from North, I'm afraid. That's just not good enough. Yeah. The fact that you dropped that smoke and you could see that wasn't even half of Freiburg. You got 2 players. He's famous for getting very good at spray control. He's got full control. He's actually got a shrouded position from their smoke, and they're running over the back's turn. Someone's misthrown the smoke and given away 2 kills. They've tried to keep it fast and stay together as a unit. I think they learned from that previous round they won, but unfortunately just really fluffed their lines with that 1 smoke and gifted 2 kills away. Not really good enough.
Yeah, now the guessing game is on for Heroic. They're going to be spread out pretty well across this map, and it does look like North is going to try to go into this A site. It's going to be Valde and Cadian on the hunt for the bomb plant, and that would be a marginal success for North at this point, looking to put a 2nd round on the board. They do have S-Tag over here, yet to die. He does have 13 frags, and he's sitting over here in Palace. And now once they start making some noise, they don't have any utility to use, but once they start making some noise, once he gets the heads up, he can go ahead and radio in the rest of his team and have the rest of Heroic kind of crash in on this A site. But very sneaky here from North, very quiet, and they're doing this very methodically. They want to make sure they don't have any hidden surprises here in this site. And yes, this might be where S-Tag gets caught out.
Well, there we go. S-Tag will be dropped, and now we have a 2-on-2. Looking promising now for North as they scramble back into the round. It's going to be Valda, who's been very quiet by his standards so far. He waits by the jungle position. Can't nail the shot, though. Asilian certainly does. Cadian, we need you to step up at this point. He's got 2 kills in the round so far. Going to need 2 more as the incendiary drops. That makes things almost impossible for him. He knows it as well. Have they got anything to follow it up? They've got the smoke. They can actually drop that on top of the Molotov, but it's too late. He actually gets the full defuse. Great stuff from Cadian in terms of killing the Barman, but Heroic even better there, managing to reset them. But luckily, North did get the bomb down, and they saved the AWP at least. There is a buy available to them, but Heroic just looked way too comfortable once again.
Yeah, that round could have actually spun around right on its head. As soon as they got in there and they got the bomb planted, that definitely could have went in the way of North. However, Asilian's AK kill there definitely turned the momentum of the late round.
Yeah, an underrated player, I think. He is an in-game leader who has been
a tomato.
Apparently, I'm not sure that.
I'm not following it either.
But apparently, when this team was first formed, they tried different in-game leaders. S-Tag had to go, Freiburg had to go, and they felt like Asilian was doing the best role possible. He was actually fragging the best and calling the best, and I've really been impressed with what he's done in both departments. Like we said, their CT side's been fantastic. T side from North, I'm afraid, another tactical pause. Yes, desperately needed at this stage. What is going on here? They're trying to call on the fly at this point, I think. That seemed like a very Hail Mary sort of play. Let's get fast up short. Someone smoke connector. Whoever did that threw it either incorrectly or didn't throw it at all, because as we saw Freiburg, I'm not sure we got the replay, but 2 absolutely gifted kills there. It doesn't get much easier than that for a pro. 2 players running up with their knives out towards shore. As the buy comes through, and A execution. Again, 5 players in the same position. This just shows they're a little bit desperate at this point. Nothing's really working for them. Let's go for a classic A execution here. Smokes over and see if we can just trade out some kills. Where is Mertz waiting for them, though? He will actually be, well, so far in a disadvantage because S-Tag goes down first. And like I said, stick together, use that brutal aim, and North might be onto something here. Opening pick and the bomb going down.
Yeah, that's definitely going to go a long way in terms of their hunt for another round here on their T side of Mirage. If you're just joining us, if you're watching from work this morning, it's Heroic versus North, 8-1. The bomb has been planted, and this is a little bit more success than North has found thus far in this game. And even though they do have the bomb planted, they're trying to thwart off this sort of retake from Heroic right about now. And I think Heroic's just trying to figure out where exactly to sort of pincer this attack, this sort of counterattack. The smokes are going to be huge here, though, as the entire site is plumed up right now. Freiburg finding one. AZ going to go ahead and reply. But
is he defusing?
Is he?
Oh,
he goes for it and he grabs it?
That's insane. I love that from Heroic. They've just made them look like absolute car horses there. It's Heroic retaking with 3 smokes there and making sure they did everything perfectly. You could see in all the chaos, North weren't even aware the defuse was going on. We weren't even sure what was happening there. Flashbangs, Molotovs going off. bullets being fired, and the fact is that they're spraying bullets around so that actually veils the sound over the defuse coming in. I think it was the diffuser on like 10 HP. They lost track of the bomb, and it's another round for Heroic as North have to keep buying here. With the AWPs up, the AKs again, and S-Tag this time on that secondary sniper rifle, heading towards the Palace position, gets himself a free kill. AZ's having a really rough time out there, as once again, they lose the opening kill.
And on the contrary, you know, it's S-Tag having a really good time. Like, he's definitely showing his worth and his value here. He picks up the AWP in this round, finds that opening kill, definitely already putting North in a deficit early on in this round. And yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, North is already in a huge deficit on their own. But right now, they're trying to get a little connector control here, and it's just going to get melted. It's not like it even really popped like they want it to, did it?
Yeah, this looks like they're playing like almost pug mentality now. Nothing's working for them. They're trying to call very loosely and on the fly, but they're losing the opening picks. That does seem like AZ was going to walk out of Palace and go for an opening kill. You sometimes can get away with that if you're expecting them to maybe push towards middle. You can just run out Palace, get a free kill, but that is out-reading them every time. This is a little adaptation now. Just as you know, North are trying to read and work out what you're doing, you drop a double AWP on them as well. Completely changes everything, and now they have to reevaluate their game once again. They've lost everything. The money's broken once more. They cannot catch a break as Cadian maybe gets one kill here at the very most. He's got, what, 8 HP? I think he knows he's dying at this point. He's got players getting behind him and bullets in the head. All 5 survive Heroic. Everyone goes down, no bomb plant, and money is absolutely done for. I'd say this map is over. North are not going to have the fortitude to get back into this one. It just seems like it's done. The North odds provided by GG.Bet now are 5. Heroic look like the heavy favorites, 1.15 for them. And it's just too easy, isn't it? They've only killed S-Tag twice, Blame F 3 times. They've both got 15 kills. That's pretty unreal.
Is it safe to say that North is back?
I don't know. I guess. In fact, I feel like it's at this stage, we're just thinking about the second map, and they seem completely removed from the equation.
And again, this was North's pick, so this is definitely not how you want to start the series, much less the map itself. And a 10-1 scoreline going into the second half, or starting to look towards that second half. Smirk's going to pick him off there from the window. And Cillian's going to grab 1 and 2, maybe himself. Actually, only 1. He's going to hurt Gade a lot, and then finally, that round just ends as quickly as it started, Henry Greer.
Absolutely. For those just joining us at the Octagon, you're currently watching 2 world-class Counter-Strike teams here. Heroic up against North, a Scandinavian bout. $50,000 on the line for this tournament. They are 2 of the 4 teams competing right now. It's the upper bracket final. Whoever takes the win in this particular best-of-3 game, we go to the grand finals happening tomorrow against either AVANGAR or Na'Vi. That's the second game of today, which will be happening just after this one. As we continue, though, round 13, it's 11-1 in favor of Heroic. The double AWP setup still there. Cadian still trying to hold both responsibilities. Remember, they're a team that's trying to rebuild tactically. He's trying to warp. His form isn't great right now, and he's trying to handle the pressure of getting themselves back into this game as well. You want your AWPers just to really be focusing on the fragging at this point. Like I said at the start of the game, he wants to have his objective and just worry about that and go for the pick. He needs to be zoned in on that kill, but he can't really do it when they're getting absolutely bamboozled across the board on this map.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to help that he's glass cannon this round as well. He doesn't have any armor to go alongside as that AWP. So, I mean, I guess one player that I would like to see show up in a big way right now that really is known to be the sort of hero of this lineup would be Valde.
Absolutely. Even when North are playing quite poorly, and these sort of games, he normally shines still. He normally has those moments he can get them at least a few rounds on the board, and hopefully they can bounce back in the next half. But right now, they just seem absolutely flat. More A executions here. As the incendiary is just beautiful. There's not really much they can do at this point. They're going to have to go in just to the smoke starting to dissipate. Oh, they have the read as well. Luckily for them, Mertz will miss the shot. S-Tag is blind, but Blame F certainly not. This is so brutal. They're just toying with North right now. Every single shot and position is making them look foolish as the smokes are deployed with 35 seconds. They're locked out of the bomb site here, Trace. I'm not sure what can be done.
Absolutely not getting to the bomb site at this rate. And Valde's going to go ahead and get legged through the smoke. The nade finishing him off, and this couldn't have gone any more wrong here for North. Then looking at the timer, it's ticking down to about 20 seconds, and they have absolutely no map control whatsoever.
Got to save.
And they've got a Cillian pushing in the back lines there. So any sort of saving they're going to do, they cannot move. They cannot wink as they sit here in Palace and try to hold on to these weapons.
They are just not ready for this. They are not on the same level as Heroic right now. They've got nothing. They're just doing very basic approaches. They can't handle the aggression. They can't handle basic defaults right now. It's all falling apart across the board. They're being well read. As soon as they set up for their execution, did you see the way the incendiaries go down, the utilization straight towards the end? We see a lot of perfect smokes and Molotovs being deployed just as they go for their play. We'll see what happens, though. As I assume another tactical timeout, Trace?
It's got to be something because North at this point have to crank the engine. They haven't even got in the car barely.
You've been a coach before. I'm sure you've been
manager.
You've been behind the boys, right?
Yeah,
You know what you have to do to like kind of raise the morale. I'm sure Cloud9 were in this position a few times where you're getting crushed in the first half.
It's true.
What would you kind of and everyone's kind of getting a bit emo. What are you saying to them, kind of raise morale? What works in your experience?
I mean, in this point, you have to do something just completely unorthodox to what you're doing because your method right now is getting stomped on.
Sure.
I mean, for what it's worth, for motivational speeches, I don't even know that if you're Mither, if you're the new coach in this situation, you even feel like you can say anything to that regard, right?
Agree.
Because
I do agree.
It's such a big problem going on that they're facing right now. We're talking about that maybe the temperament that they're facing in the game, maybe the speed at which the tempos, all of the stuff that's not coming together well. And if I talk about speed and memento, they're going to go ahead and roll out that Palace. AZ finding the first tag. And he's going to find the second one on to Blame. So now they've made us eat our words live here.
Well, no, that's what we wanted to see. Unfortunately, we've been saying we wanted him to just group up and run into bomb sites. That's the only thing that's going to work for them. The defaults aren't there.
Damn.
But you have got world-class aimers like AZ. Let him off the leash and let's just get some kills. It can't get any worse than it is right now. Just run around and see what we can do here. Unfortunately, Mertz does get one in the back. They've got plenty of money. It's the last round next. They might as well go for this. Oh, my goodness. Freiburg's making it happen. That grenade could actually connect as well. Is it going to be deep enough? Not quite. It does do damage. And the incendiary actually makes things incredibly uncomfortable. The defuse could come in here. They might as well go for it at this point. Like I said, round 15 coming up, and I'm not sure they're aware. Both players in towards spawn. Kiabi hits one, and still Mertz will continue his assault here. Drops the smoke, trying to make things uncomfortable, but it looks like he's bailing out. He does hit another shot, and Kiabi will go down. So all 5 are dropped. They win the round, but they don't have an AWP. They get $3,500 per player going into the next round. They're actually going to be really hamstrung after winning a single round. But finally, we do see them kind of taking a tactical timeout. Guys, can we just use our aim? Can we just get out there? And that's what AZ was trying to do before, but this time had a bit of backup with him. Got bought a bit of space for a couple of flashbangs. Defaults aren't working, but let's just choose a bomb site and gamble and hopefully hit the shots. They get their second round.
And still, as you're saying, still a decently successful round here for Heroic. Even though they didn't win the round, they definitely cost them in the financial department. And as they look to close out this half, they're definitely in the driver's seat. So unless there's some sort of miraculous game plan in store, I guess maybe we're not privy to the information that North are going to go undefeated in the next half.
Well,
maybe that's their whole approach. We don't know.
Let's have a look at the actual loadout here. Like I said, you get $3,500 for winning the round with the explosion there, but everyone went down. So that means, yes, I can see some AKs there, but as you can see, a severe lack of utility. One Galil, a UMP as well. Kiabi's just got a decoy to go with his AK, and AZ's been isolated. He has to commit to this. He's got flames behind him. If anyone peeks him, he is done for. He's trying to open things up once again, single-handedly this time. His teammates heading towards B as he waits for rotations. It's going to be Mertz taking down the first player. Surely going to be traded out, though. AZ needs to shine at this stage. Good grenade, Mertz with 15 HP. Still challenging this. Unbelievable scenes as S-Tag will chime in with a double AWP as well. 5 on 3. It looks like a 13-2 half is locked in at this stage.
Yeah, and you can see Mertz is feeling that rhythm. The kahunas are out, and he's definitely putting the pain on him there in the B halls with the AWP. And you can just see that comfort level here on the side of Heroic. They do have this 12-round cushion that they can fall back on as they go into their T side. And you've got to think that they're going to have a better showing right out of the gate. However, this round is not over yet. We're going to see North here try to get a boost going here towards the window. But again, 5 players alive for Heroic. So this is not going to be easy. They've got to find their way into the bomb site. Katie is going to take the charge right to his death as S-Tag's there with the AUG. So a little under a minute left. Bomb working his way slowly back towards those B halls right now up the stairs. And KRB trying to just get one of those in the back cheeky kills.
That's about as good as it's going to get at this point. It's going to take something marvelous from the former major champion, Kiabi. He'll be there with 95 HP, but 30 seconds on the clock. They have the bomb in the T apartment right now. He'll have to find out 3 kills before they could even think about planting at this point. And the time is just ticking away. He'll get 1, probably in the form of S-Tag. But at that point, what happens then?
This is a crucial moment in this round. 20 seconds are left. KRB does find the frag on the S-Tag.
Here we go.
Actually, Gade finding one on Necilian. So here we have an open bomb site. Of course, the health has been very, very diminished over there on the side of North. But they are going to get this bomb down. And it's going to be the rotation by Freiburg, Mertz, and Blame as they look to get into this B bomb site. They've got a defuse on their hands now. But definitely something that needed to happen for North. They want to lock in this 3rd round and the final one of the half. because it cannot get any easier than it is right now as they switch sides.
We'll see what happens here. It's actually getting a little bit awkward in terms of the timing here for Heroic, but they're hitting the first shot. Kiabi looking to defend from the kitchen area. Mert seems to be aware that's the defuse coming in. Decent attempts. Got pretty close there. I can't hit the beep straights. Can you help me out? They got it?
It's got it. They got it.
It's all good?
Don't have it. It's
there
panic.
we go.
Don't panic.
Oh, dear. Clip it.
Oh, God. Clip it. Oh, yeah.
Well, there we go. A really underwhelming half there. Like you said, this is North's pick. I normally try and see like both sides of every story, but they're just not ready for this level. Yes, they have the new coach. They're trying to rebuild right now, still recovering and licking their wounds from the minor incident, but their defaults just aren't there. The execution seem off. I'd rather focus on the positives from Heroic. This is the first LAN with this lineup. They haven't had much time to practice. They came off a 1-week boot camp, and they're looking superb individually and as a team as well. Asilian's doing a great job overall of making sure he's making a mixture of plays and is making them unpredictable to actually face against there. But North, the only rounds that were successful for them is when they said, let's just go for a fast A attack. Let's go for a B rush of the CZ. Let's see what we can do. Mert is having a great game, but overall, I feel like this one's done. 13-2 and the fact that they look so flat. These sort of rounds, that's what really grinded my gears. We remember that one, that smoke is just not good enough, and you've got to be aware of those things. If they do counter you with incendiaries, you've got to be ready to actually spray them down and challenge. As KDN got a couple of orb kills, but it feels like North need a proper in-game leader at this point. It seems like he can't handle this. They're really floundering in these key situations. Yeah, and to take up the role of IGL and AWP player over on the team is definitely not going to pan out in the long run if you're not finding success in either departments, parallel to each other. But in this instance, Henry, I think that the saying goes, what is all around is all around, or something like that. Either way, all around are the bet odds over at GG.Bet. You can see just how lopsided they are right now. And it's going to be the A play here from the side of Heroic to try to get this first round on the board. S-Tac coming out with dominance, and Freiburg's going to follow up as well. So it's now up to KRB and AZ as they want to get in the site. They don't have a kit between the two of them. There might be one down on the site. I don't think there was one purchased. KRB trying to fight off this plant, so the bomb will get planted. And almost an easy-looking round here for Heroic, but it's not done yet. There's still a chance. Blame's going to try to get this frag on to AZ, and, well, he can't do that. So AZ finding his way up the stairs in a 2v2. There we go. And just like that, it's turned around on its head. Asilian, 1 versus 2, bomb planted. They have no kit, though. If Asilian gets one of these kills, sure, he's low HP, but he can get one of them, they're onto something. He'll start making his way through. He's negating the diffuser at this point, and it's going to be diffused. He had to stick on it there. Without the kit, it was getting quite awkward for them. But North, bit of success. That's the first bit of good news I'd say we've seen from them this entire map. They know now they can recover. I'm not going to say this is impossible. I think it's a done deal. If North can actually fight back now, get a nice 3-0, remember, like I said, Heroic, they can play CT sides very well. We've seen that, but their T sides have been disappointing at times. They managed to get, I think it was a 12-3 lead against Na'Vi on their T side, on the CT side, switch over the T side, and it almost went overtime. They actually ended up winning 16-14, but it almost fell apart. So we'll see if that can be replicated by North perhaps, and even if they don't win the map at this stage, Trace, is getting it into double figures, for example, just going to raise morale and realize, okay, we're warmed up now. That was the first game of the day. But if they get blown out the water 16-3, that might be a little bit too much for them to handle. And then even you turn the page, you go to the next map on a 16-3 loss, you have to kind of even brush this off of even happening. You can't even say that you feel good going in the next map. Sure. Just forget about it. Look at the demo later. Talk about it later. But obviously, fundamentally speaking, on that T side of North, it's going to be a detriment going forward. Gade finding a big kill here, finding 2, and not much to be expected on the side of Heroic. They do try to get anything they can going with these pistols, and Freiburg's going to find one before he falls. Another round on the board here for North. So not a whole lot expected from that round, but I guess as we begin to turn the page, shout out Bob Seeger. Exactly. We're going to see, though, remember the bomb was planted in the pistol, so we're going to see the AKs come through at this point. This will be telling now if North actually have what it takes to get back into this matchup. It's a big round. It's a big game in there. We've got 2 Scandinavian teams going at it, but so far, not so good for North. Really haven't shown up in any sort of department really at all, tactically or in brute force. As we get into round number 18 here, you can see the AKs out up against a UMP and an MP9. I'd say maybe worth upgrading those at this stage, considering you just need rounds on the board, not necessarily saving cash. We'll see how it pans out for them, but I want to see a bit of a play here, maybe a bit of aggression just to get that 1 kill, give them an advantage, and maybe steal away an AK. And now the thing here with S-Tag is he was really feeling himself in the first half. Let's see if we can transfer that over in here and sort of carry this team over to a dominant finish here on Mirage. 13-4 being that score line, and the first gun round on the board here for Heroic, as they try to get things going as they've switched sides. Now S-Tag working his way up these B halls. He's going to run into resistance here with AZ and KRB.
but it looks like the whole team's going to be trying to catch up with him as well.
It's all building up now. Heroic looking likely to go for the B execution. I expect 2 smokes towards those pillars, flash over, and you can see Kiabi on the north side of things trying to bait in AZ here. So he'll just go for a kill and fall back. That'll be his absolute maximum, and hopefully they don't check AZ. But AZ does fire maybe a little bit prematurely there. Could have let them run past their trays, but still gets the frag, and hopefully Kiabi can convert some of this damage done.
And a big grenade there from KRB. He does find a lot of damage, and he's going to find a kill as well on the Mertz. So what could have spun around and AZ could have blew it definitely didn't happen. Now Blame F, the new guy here for Heroic, tries to get something going, finds a kill on Decadian. He does have the bomb and roughly 20 seconds to work with, so he does find his second kill, and now I'm sure he's going to be trying to hightail it. No way, he's going all the way for the long con here. And this is going to be quite the play. I mean, time's going to be short, but he should have no problem getting it down.
Just to note, Gade is at short, though. He'll probably be watching this angle.
Wow.
Hits it. Okay, it was a lovely idea from Blame, but Gade well read and actually just had to hit 1 bullet there. So I love the idea, and the fact he brings it down to the 1v1 there, Blame, but unfortunate that Gade read it so well.
Yeah, and it is unfortunate that that worked out because, well, I kind of believed in Blame there. So I had the sensation that was going to work out for him.
Well, he's a new kid on the block, right? We want to see him deliver some massive plays and actually bring his team over the finish line. It's always great to see these youngsters get this experience and really feel it on the server as well. We can really see what they're capable of. And I love this forward process there. You can see he definitely has got a great Counter-Strike mind about Gade. No slouch either, managed to take him down. We'll get into another pistol round here. Bit of a partial buy here for Heroic as they lose the first kill and the second. And also North are getting comfortable now. Remember, we just said they just need to get back into this game. I'm not sure they're quite feeling they're going to be winning it at this point, but if they can get the double figures at least and to start getting warmed up and show they are here to play today, that would be enough as Blame F will be going down. He gets a kill there, a consolation one. As we get into the first proper gun round here, we're going to have rifles across the board on both teams and maybe a couple of AWPs as well.
Yeah, and I mean, even after losing that first gun round, if you're Heroic, you still have to feel like you're in control of this matchup. And the numbers are not going to lie, and they don't normally lie at all, especially over GG.Bet, where you can go ahead and check out the odds for this matchup right about now, as we do look to see some more guns coming in on the side of Heroic, and perhaps a bigger contest. Maybe this is the round they go for 14, but the AWP in the hands of Mertz.
Yeah, there are the odds in the bottom of your screen right now. You'll see them start to stabilize. Every round North bring back, they'll get closer and closer to making this a possibility. Right now, bit of a far cry for victory, but we'll see what they can do. It's Valder trying to show some aggression here. Actually does a great amount of damage, and you can see them following up. Blame F and Asilian with low HP at this stage after taking heavy utility damage there. So this is more like it. North actually looks solid on their CT sides as well. That grade's not bad either, as Blame F and Asilian still there. 37 and 24 HP, but still 5 alive on each side.
So that grenade landed in front of the box, it looked like.
I am not sure if that's a thing. I don't want to comment.
That's weird.
Like, it looks like it might have just been a follow-up nade, but if that is a thing, that's pretty cool. That's,
clip it.
Yeah, clip it right now. Go.
Oh, boy. Yes, Volley trying to get his engine started 9 and 15, sitting with about 60 ADR, as we do see no fallen members of either side here. Pushing past that 1 minute mark. And now AZ having pushed himself all the way up into the TV room there for North. He's going to have that info that, hey, they're not coming to this B halls. In fact, you guys need to get ready over at the A site because it should be an execution, should be something coming out relatively quickly. And that's exactly what we're going to be seeing here, Henry.
Well, you can see Heroic struggling on that C side as well now, and it's going to be AZ for all the information. You see in the top left of your screen there, he's pushing in. He's going for the huge backstab here. Time ticking away, an S-tag. They're starting to make mistakes now and not looking as crisp as they were in the first half. But the bomb will be planted. Are they aware of the presence of AZ, though? He comes in for that aforementioned backstab, gets 2 kills, taken down by Mertz at close range. We go into the 2-on-2. Fantastic work from the Danish sniper there. It's now Freiberg joining him. And the flashbang goes in the air, bomb planted, and kits available for the CTs, but no utility. They have no smoke for the bomb, and Mertz on track for the ace right now.
Oh my goodness, that was a big kill to miss right there. Freiberg's gonna get the trade, leaves us down to a 1v1. KDM with the kit, goes for the swing, and he gets the kill. So he does get the defuse, and he does get the round.
He does get the round,
He does get the round. It's like a adaption, or what did you say a minute ago?
Adaptation?
Which is adaptation, right? I thought it was adaptation, no?
Okay, anyway.
Look, Alabama education. Regardless, we do see another round, but very squeakily close here for the side of North as they put another one up on the board. And now we're starting to look towards a real ball game here, Henry.
Well, absolutely. That's a huge round for them. We did see Freiburg there trying to swing out and maybe just challenge the fact that he touched the defuse straight away. Most players would wait maybe 3-4 seconds and try and challenge at the very last second to see if it is a full defuse. He swings out right away. It would have been a massive round for them to win. They kept it expensive, and we'll see if it's going to be... You looking up on Google there, mate?
No, I don't. What are you talking about? I'm looking at this execute right here from Heroic. They do have all the utility. They've got the weaponry as well. And they're just going to waltz right on out into the A site. They're already out on Tetris, and Mertz coming over with a vengeance over an Acadian. Said, you know what, you might have got me last round, but you're not going to be getting this one. Mertz is on a tear right now, finding a second. It's going to be AZ Volley and Gade just to try to get back in this bomb site. They're going to have to either commit, and from the sounds of it, and the frags that are not going in their way, they might just turn tail and GTFO.
I think they might have to at this point. It's a 5-on-2. Mertz doing most of the heavy lifting there as he makes his way towards that A bomb site. 2 kills found, and Freiburg looking to take everyone down. As he'll be dropped, no damage done to Valde. He actually gives up the AK-47. They don't have a massive amount of cash themselves, so need to be careful now. I think that's pretty much all the hunting they can do. I do see Mertz hungry for blood, though, still making his way towards B, even on 30 HP. Might be risking everything at this stage. They want to make sure they keep these AKs up, to be honest. He's also got an incendiary, which is worth $600 to him, as the bomb and the round will be going in favor of Heroic. Valde and Gade can do nothing but just hold on to their weapons here. S-Tag holding in CT spawn, and we'll see it go to 14-7 here, but still fine. There's still a couple of rounds of breathing room here for North. They've got another buy available for sure, and like we said, at this stage, it's just about getting back into the game. We'll see whether it's possible. And yes, we are brought to you live here from GG.Bet at the Ice Challenge in London, and we've got $50,000 prize pool between 4 teams, and this is the upper bracket final. Whoever wins this best of 3 will make their way towards the grand final tomorrow, either against AVANGAR or Na'Vi. Right now, looking like it will be Heroic, but this comeback still is on. I'm not saying it's impossible still. If they can reset at this point, there's still definitely a chance they can bring it right back.
Now, you're talking about people taking the game into their own hands, and that's exactly what Mertz did in that last round. Kind of like we saw S-Tag do in the first half. Mertz definitely saying, you know what, we shouldn't be backing down from these guys. We really went ahead and set our dominance in the first half. It should be absolutely no different here. And you can see as North has this timeout going for them, they want to make sure this one doesn't slip away here at the finish line for Heroic.
Well, they seem calm at least. Like, I've been watching North quite closely. They don't seem like that panicked with it. They don't seem that flustered. It just doesn't seem to be anything going their way actually on the server itself. As his tactical timeout will come to an end, like you mentioned, the new coach can't really have a huge amount of impact here. He just wants to be watching the mentality, providing information. You can see how much that round cost them. We have a couple of UMPs here, and a play needs to be made. We discussed this mentality before. You need to get an opening pick. Gate gets it. Will he be traded out, though? Trying to get away with the smoke and taken down. Great work by Blame F here. 4-4 certainly favors the terrorists at this point.
Yes, big kill there. Big trade for Blame F. That 4-4 is definitely keeping this in an even fight, an even strength. But if you're Heroic, you're going to go ahead and try to transition out. Now, this aggression here from KRB, he's pushed all the way up into the TV room yet again. He's been finding a lot of success all the way in these pushes. And, well, this time, he's going to get punished. Blame F on the case, shuts him down, leaves only 3 members remaining here for North.
Oh, Vasilian, he can hear. Easy kill.
Very well played. Very well played here from Heroic in this round.
Get the bomb, fall back, get that map point. Let's take this one home, and you'll leave them with nothing at this point, essentially. And we'll see what can be done. It's really do or die. They do really have to go for this, like saving an organ and UMP with nothing else really available. I'm not sure that's the play, but they're so far removed from this. Maybe they do have to save for the little they have. I'm not really sure what the best method of approach will be here as Asilian. Great work there. Blame F taking 2 kills, and we'll see if they can close things out cleanly.
And that bomb being planted, and if you're North, you just kind of have to bite your tongue on this one. There's not much you can do. You're already kind of needing to save everything you can get going into this last round, fighting tooth and nail. It's going to be a long grind for them to come back. It'll be 8 rounds in a row that they need to tie this one and take us into overtime. But should they do that, I mean, my goodness.
That would be a bit of a miracle at this point. They're going to have barely any money, and presumably they save these 2 weapons, but that's 1 rifle, 1 UMP. And they're going to have to drop what they can, which would be SMGs, which mean they get no utility themselves, or they let them teammates fend for themselves and get the deagles out and try and get a bit of utility. But for me, this map is done at this point. Yes, the comeback, there was a slight hint of it, but that was off the back of the pistol, which arguably Heroic had a massive upper hand in. But it is going to be map points, not getting carried away. I like that. I respect a team that doesn't get overconfident with the celebrations. We've seen it before, famously Immortals at the kind of, which major was it? It's the Krakow major, the PGL one.
Yeah.
When they managed to, they looked so fired up every single game. They'd have these huge highs and then crashing lows as well. As soon as they lose a round, you can see the morale just change, and it'd be such a roller coaster for them. You need to keep a level head. Certainly celebrate and keep the fist bumps there, but make sure it's not, you don't get too carried away.
I don't know, man. There's something about those Brazilian teams that can thrive on that energy, though. And I mean, they can really kind of capitalize on that momentum that they grab both in game and out of game. So I mean, I get it. Yeah, there's definitely an exhausting effort to be had there and talked about when it comes down to just using all of your willpower and your might to just fight tooth and nail. But in this case, it is North fighting for a lifeline here on Mirage, the first map. It would take more than a miracle, Henry, as the Cillian's going to find that opening frag onto Cadian. And definitely going to go ahead and tip this one in the way of Heroic early on. AZ trying to get something going here on Catwalk. He's going to find that kill on Blame. So that's definitely going to help their case. But as it stands, it does look like Heroic is ready to just kind of walk out on this A site. They're going to find a little bit of resistance, though. They're not going to be taking that too easily. All they need to do now is set themselves up in a position to sort of maybe pincer this site, but they're going to go ahead and back away completely from the A-bomb site.
We'll see if they can close it out cleanly. They have the 4-on-3 right now. AZ will have to hold B alone, and Estag making his way through that underpass. His teammates, presumably in the B apartments, they can't really afford to leave A open. So sure, they can get a maximum of 2 players over there, but what have they got to defend it with? Absolutely zero. And all going to FAMAS, flashbang in, it's looking to trade kills out here. Very basic approach. Estag maybe needs to be a little bit closer to his teammates. There's no trade potential there right now. I feel like he was maybe stepping out of line a bit, but if they get the kill in response, it's fine. And you can see Valda left in a 2 versus 1, but he is a great player in these sort of scenarios. Unfortunately for him, only has that UMP. And is the bomb going down? I believe he's actually dissuaded them with the grenade.
A really good Molotov there. Cillian set up there towards that jail area, really low HP. And so is Freiburg. So he's definitely going to have that in his back pocket as the time ticks. He finds the first kill on the Freiburg. And now this is very much a reality. The time ticks away as Cillian had to peek. And when he did, he was punished. Valde finds the frag and the round there for North.
The sad thing is, it's 15-8 now, and that's probably the biggest highlight we've seen from Valda all game, right? And that is not good news. No disrespect for him. We expect so much. He is a world-class talent who continues to deliver on all fronts every time North play. We want to see a lot more from him like that. Maybe a sign of things to come. Remember, this is a marathon and not a sprint. These guys are playing a best of 3. This is just the first map, so Heroic winning this, not the biggest deal. Sure, it's North's pick, but it's Mirage, both teams player, and we'll see if North can keep their head above water here as Valde gets aggressive towards middle, looking to demonstrate that aim, but it's a double kill. God. Absolutely taken to school there. It is going to be 2 kills for Blame F once again, and they get a 5-on-3, and surely this is where it ends.
Yeah, and you got to think for North in that situation. Yes, they can't just sit back and play super passive. They can't just let sort of Heroic get this freedom of movement they've been looking for, and in this moment, they definitely got punished early on in the round. It is not going to help their case. KRB finding a significant amount of damage done to him. 41 HP left. And right now, Heroic just needs to figure out what they want to do with themselves to try to close out this map. They have kind of waited and see if there's any sort of aggression that they can punish and really put that nail in the coffin. But for now, they're going to have that bomb set up there towards that mid area with KRB defending B. And the push from Cadian over here towards Palace, he's going to go ahead and fall. So, I mean, the A site's wide open as of right now. But this rotation is going to come in from AZ. Should he want to go over there and sort of flex, or they're going to play us together? Either way, this is the last lifeline here for North on this first map.
Kiabi, if he gets this kill with the MP7, there's a chance, but remember, AZ has played this spot before. Again, they don't check it, but it doesn't matter. There it is, 16-8. Heroic looking extremely comfortable there, especially in that first half. Remember, it was, 13-2 in the first half. Their CT side, as expected, was wonderful. North couldn't handle it. Their defaults looked sloppy. Their executions were off. The smokes weren't really landing. The individuals weren't showing up. Pretty much everything that could have gone wrong for North there is exactly what happened. And as you mentioned, that's their map pick. And it really doesn't bode well for the future here. But Heroic, that's the form they showed yesterday. That's the discipline and the teamwork and individual prowess is what we saw. We want to see more of that from them. They're looking likely for the finals at this point. But North, always a resilient team. You never know what to expect. One map to another, they could turn up lights out in the next map.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to change their whole approach, their whole tactic set there going in that next map, because that was a rough one. And I hate to say it, but it's not looking super hot for them right there. So whatever they're doing, they're going to have to do it the opposite way, I think, is the easiest way to summarize it. We're going to be going to Nuke. That's our next map, Henry.
Oh, I'm excited for that. Nuke is always a little bit of a difficult one to predict. It can be such a cruel mistress whoever starts on the T side. We've seen both of these teams struggle on their terrorist forces right now. We know Heroic, new team, 1 week together, and of course, North trying to rebuild with the new coach. T side's not looking great, but who can strong arm that CT side and run away with it? I think the knife round might be one of the most important rounds there in the second map, but we'll see what happens. Join us for the second map after this break.